me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Daphne Mestry. I am a nutritionist and energy practitioner, and I specialize in cancer recovery. And over the last 15 years, I've worked with hundreds of cancer patients, and I also have a personal connection to this journey. My mother had breast cancer when I was very young, and most women on her side of the family also got cancer. So I grew up in an environment where cancer was almost something normal. And then in my early 20s, I also went through my own healing journey, and I decided to heal holistically. And so I compiled research, information, case studies, and I became obsessed with understanding what triggers cancer and how to help the body heal. And at the time, there was very little information available. So I ended up creating a Word document with everything I knew. And I would give it to anyone diagnosed with cancer to help them. That's how it all started. And later on, I became, a certified nutritionist. I grew my own healing herbs and mushrooms and started helping people in a more professional way. I also added energy treatments to my practice to help with emotional stability, mindset, but also discomfort, pain, or cell regeneration. And little by little, my practice became focused on the physical and the emotional aspects of healing cancer. And that is when I started seeing mind-blowing results. So I just kept doing it. It was working. And cancer transformed my life forever and just became part of myself. And if you were diagnosed, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And you can either love it and create magic out of it, or you can resent it. I personally chose to love it, grow, and learn from it, and later on help others do the same. All right, so let's get started. So first, let's look at how cancer is perceived and treated for the majority of people, and then we will dive into other approaches that can be more beneficial. Number one, the missing piece, lifestyle and emotional health, why conventional care rarely addresses the powerful role of nutrition, stress, and emotional release and recovery. As you probably know it, when you enter an oncologist appointment, the topic of lifestyle and environment are usually either overlooked or completely dismissed, as if cancer had all of a sudden appeared out of nowhere and it's just bad luck. Well, I believe your lifestyle and environment should be your first clue. What are you eating? Are you moving your body? How is your sleep? Do you spend time outdoors? What products and chemicals are you exposed to daily? How is your job going, your relationships? Cancer does not appear overnight. In most cases, it actually took years to develop. And in many cases, it may have been dormant until a major life stressor suppressed the immune system and triggered it. Your lifestyle and environment are powerful starting points to understanding your diagnosis. And this brings me to my second point. The genetics myth. Why it runs in my family does not mean it's your destiny. So let's break it down. There are two types of mutation. The first one is inherited mutations. And these are the cancer-related mutations you're born with, passed from a parent. These account for about 5% of all cancers. It does not mean you will automatically get it. It just means your chances are a little higher compared to someone else. The second type is acquired mutations, and these happen from environmental and lifestyle factors. And these account for 95% of all cancers. They are not inherited and can be prevented. Now the problem is our society often tells us if it runs in your family, you'll likely get it. And this creates fear. And fear itself is damaging. I've seen this with many of my patients who told me that they lived for years with anxiety about developing cancer. Some even told me they felt like they unconsciously manifested it, only to eventually receive that diagnosis over time. Genetics may slightly increase the risk, but environment and lifestyle are what determine whether those genes activate or not. So instead of living in fear, why don't we focus on how to prevent it, understand what triggers those genes to activate, and how the human body works? This replaces fear with knowledge and empowerment. And this is part of what I teach. Number 3, the time pressure trap. How fear-based timelines can push patients into choices they can later regret. As soon as people are diagnosed with cancer, time accelerates. I see it all the time. All of a sudden, patients are often told to act quick, make major decisions immediately. And on top of that, everyone around them wants to give them their advice. Panic mode is activated. This creates stress, inflammation, immune suppression, and poor sleep. The exact opposite of what your body needs to heal. And when the body goes through intense stress, research shows that it takes hours, if not days, for it to recover. And this slows the healing process. So take a deep breath and don't feel pressured, because the more you are pressured, the more you will do things irrationally. You'll let emotions such as fear control your decisions, and you will be stressed out. And believe me, I know you want to get rid of cancer as fast as possible. Everyone says this to me. But trust me, if you take the time to really understand what's going on with your body and ground yourself before rushing into getting it removed, you will decrease your chances of relapse. I see it all the time. Number 4, losing touch with your body. How over-reliances on doctors can disconnect you from your own healing intelligence. Many people tell me that they feel betrayed, that they lose trust in their bodies after diagnosis. They don't want to touch it or let their husband, partners touch it at all. They feel disgust by it and disconnected. But this disconnection often started long before, when we ignored our body's signals, brushed them off, numbed discomfort with medication. The body is always sending us messages. They are subtle, but we were never taught to listen to them. We were taught to go to see a doctor, take a pill with ingredients we can't even pronounce, and expect a quick fix. But now is actually time to reconnect to it. So your body has been there for you since your first breath. Your heart is beating, your lungs are pumping air. Your brain helps you think, analyze, read, watch this video. Your body has been working even though it was often neglected. Lack of sleep, high levels of stress, poor nutrition, negative thoughts about it. You take your body for granted, and we all do. But when was the last time you said, "I love you" to yourself? When you start looking at your body as your best friend, you listen to it, you care for it, you have empathy and compassion when it's not feeling well. You hug it. You don't let it down after a diagnosis. You're there for it through thicks and thins. This is how you reconnect to it. Number 5, focusing on the tumor, not the terrain. My specialty, where treating the visible problem often misses the invisible cause. So let's look at what is happening in your body from a medical point of view when you're diagnosed with cancer. Well, first off, it's important to understand that cancer cells develop multiple times in a person's lifetime. These cells can't be seen in regular tests until they multiply to billions, and that is usually when they can be detected. Our bodies are usually very good at destroying them when our detox organs and immune system are strong. But when our bodies are continuously overloaded with toxins through poor nutrition, chemicals, heavy metals, stress, unprocessed emotions, and so on, they at some point get overwhelmed and are not as efficient at removing toxins. And what happens is that toxins accumulate. Our body becomes highly acidic. Our immune system starts to deteriorate, and inflammation rises. Our cells are then more likely to mutate in order to adapt to the unnatural, highly acidic and toxic environment they are now in. They are just adapting to their environment. They are not some type of intruder. And that's important to remember. On one hand, you have toxins constantly coming in. And on the other hand, you have a body overwhelmed who's trying to prioritize, hoping the toxins overload will calm down so it can deal with the deficient cells and keep you alive. That's the reality. Your body never gets a break. So instead of blaming the deficient cells, the tumor, why don't we start asking the real question? Why are they mutating? What in my lifestyle and environment is triggering my perfectly healthy cells to mutate? Listen, cancer is your body trying to protect you. It is not your enemy. Your body is trying so hard to protect you. It is not your enemy. It's actually calling for help. And I am pretty sure it's been calling for a while. You were just not listening. So now that this is out of the way and you no longer see cancer as your enemy, your body becomes your ally. And when I say your body, I'm talking about every single inch of it, including the deficient cells, the tumor. And that mindset is the foundation of your healing. Every time you feel demotivated or have negative thoughts during your healing journey, you will remember that your body is counting on you. So how do you help your body? What's the solution on the long term? Is it only by removing the tumor and going back to your life? Or is it by removing what's actually causing these deficient cells? The root cause. I personally think removing the tumor with traditional treatments can be very helpful sometimes, but it should not be the priority. It should just be used as an available tool in the healing process. The root cause is what you should focus on if you want to heal in the long term. Remember, the deficient cells, the tumor, are just symptoms. They are not a root cause. Let's look at the importance of the root cause. As you know, the root cause of illness is the foundation of long-term healing. It determines your healing plan, because without it, you're left doubting, trying different things, relying on treatment and medication alone, and often second-guessing your decisions. But when you know what your root cause is, you can have a powerful healing plan. You gain clarity and direction. It is entirely tailored to your needs. Your root cause will either be primarily emotional or primarily physical, or a combination of both, which the majority of people. So let's start with the physical. This is everything that is palpable, that you can see, touch, and relate to your physical body. This can include exposure to toxins, mold, chemicals, parasites, poor nutrition, endocrine disruptors, lack of movement, or even environmental factors from childhood or pregnancy. These quietly weaken the immune system over time, making it harder for your body to defend itself. Now, for others, the root cause is more emotional or energetic. This is everything related to negative thoughts and unprocessed emotions, which create internal stress. It is almost always dismissed in conventional treatment. It can come from unprocessed grief, trauma, resentment, jealousy, guilt, shame, regrets, or fear, for example. Basically something that created a strong emotional reaction on your end, or something you're not able to let go of. It can also be related to a stressful job, an unhealthy or toxic relationship, always putting other people's happiness before yours, but also abuse as a child, a feeling of neglect, abandonment, rejection, etc. You get the point. All of these create chronic stress in the body. You might not notice it at first, but it significantly affects your body at a cellular level. When emotions are suppressed, instead of released, they can become stuck energy, showing up as inflammation, immune dysfunction, or physical illness over time. And it's not your fault. Most people learn at a young age to brush it off when they feel a certain way. Don't cry, be strong, pretend it didn't happen, move on. And that is not how you deal with emotions in a healthy way. Now, the good news is that if you have stagnant energy in your body, even if it has been years, you can still release it now. It is never too late. Let me give you a few examples of the connection between emotions and organs. For breast cancer, for example, the imbalances that I see a lot are grief, sadness, resentment towards someone or a situation, inability to forgive others or yourself, lack of self-love or feeling unloved, unappreciated, lack of self-nourishment or self-care, putting others' needs always before ours, but also pain linked to motherhood, bond with kids. For cancers in the thyroid or throat area, I usually see, for example, imbalances in self-expression, difficulty communicating needs and boundaries, unspoken anger or resentment. Also, fear of rejection when speaking authentically, living in silence to keep the peace, not feeling true to self. For anything related to the liver, I see a lot of frustration, anger, bitterness, suppressed creativity, feeling stuck, lack of flexibility, belief that life is unfair, things like that. And remember, the liver is one of the most important detox organs you have. And if there are emotions trapped in that area, it cannot detox properly. And that impacts the whole body and can lead to cancer in other areas as well. Now, for cancers in the reproductive organs, ovaries, testicular, what I've noticed over the years is that it's often related to guilt, not allowing ourselves to be fully happy, unresolved family wounds, feelings of betrayal, rejection, abandonment, sexual and infertility issues, and suppression, loss, passion, regrets, shame, or even addictions. Anyway, I won't be covering all types of cancers here, but this is something that we definitely look at when we work together. Let me give you a couple of examples of some of my clients. Let's start with Miriam. So Miriam, she first came to me because she couldn't figure out why she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And she was telling me, I eat a healthy diet, I go to the gym, I detox, I fast once in a while. And she was very aware of how to live a non-toxic lifestyle. On the paper, it looked like she was doing everything right. So we started digging, and we found out that all day she was working with her laptop on her lap, legs crossed, and wearing synthetic leggings. That meant that her lymphatic system was altered most of the day. Her tight synthetic clothes were releasing chemicals all day long, and she was surrounded by EMF. Not only was she skipping lunches most of the time, but her job was extremely stressful, and she felt guilty of taking breaks, asking for vacation, etc. And also, when we looked into her past for emotional connection, we found out she experienced regrets and shame for not trying to have a kid. So intimacy with her husband was also highly affected. Remember, emotions such as guilt, regrets, shame, connected to sexuality are all linked to the sacral chakra, which is also connected to sexual organs, ovaries. Everything makes sense. And in Miriam's case, her diagnosis was triggered by a combination of physical and emotional root causes, which we worked on one by one. Now, another example would be Samantha. So Sam came to me, she told me that she had been diagnosed with thyroid cancer years prior, and she had relapsed, and it had metastasized. So when cancer moves to other parts of the body, I still like to address the original diagnosis, because cells can move around the body for multiple reasons, including surgery. And if the root cause was never addressed, cancer is just more likely to come back. So after talking together, we discovered that physically there were things that we could work on, such as stop wearing perfume, which is a big endocrine disruptor, toxic deodorants, lotions, and instead use natural alternatives. We made adjustments to her nutrition, exercise, and things like that. But what really made a difference for Sam was when we looked at the emotional component. I won't get too much into details, but she explained to me that right before her original diagnosis, she had lost her dad, who she hadn't talked to in years after an argument. And when he died, she couldn't forgive herself for not talking to him for all this time. And she kept telling me if I had just told him how I felt instead of being resentful, if I could just talk to him right now. And this is most likely what created energetic blockages in her throat and manifested as thyroid cancer. And the fact that it had later on metastasized to her breast is not a coincidence. The breast is connected to forgiveness, and she could not forgive herself. This is why healing both the physical and emotional component is so important. And when you uncover these root causes, you work on the theron. You're not shooting in the dark anymore. You're not second guessing what to do. You understand that cancer is not bad luck. And most importantly, it can be reversed. You're no longer only treating symptoms like removing a tumor, but instead creating the conditions where your immune system can thrive. Healthy cells can regenerate, and your body can truly heal. And this shift in perspective is the foundation of healing. It gives you your power back and reduces fear of relapse. Because there is nothing worse than removing a tumor and living in fear that it will come back because you don't know how it got there in the first place. So, what are the 5 steps that I use with my clients to help their body get back to a healthy state? Well, we combine both the physical and emotional healing in a powerful step-by-step approach. Number 1, we straighten your mindset so that you gain empowerment and you let go of fear. This includes daily routines, meditation audios, affirmations, cancer and human body knowledge, as well as powerful mindset coaching. Number 2, we incorporate the right exercise and breathing tools to bring oxygen to your bloodstream, rejuvenate your cells, and get your lymphatic system moving and thriving. These lessons also include ways to lower your stress and anxiety to get your body into a self-healing state. Number 3 is all about diet and gut healing. We incorporate an anti-inflammatory diet and superfoods, including fermented foods, juicing, medicinal plants, powerful supplements. You will know exactly what to eat and what to drink. Number 4, now that your gut is healed, we clear your environment for toxins and detox your body from heavy metals, parasites, and mold. This is especially important if you're going through chemo or radiotherapy, for example. Number 5, we help you understand your cancer at a deeper level. So we change your views on healing, reconnect to your body, let go of suppressed emotions, and clear your blockages together. I also offer energy work to heal your body at a cellular and subconscious level. And this approach supports your body at all stages of your healing journey. All you have to do is follow the process and be consistent. Each step is extremely straightforward and can be applied right away. You can easily integrate everything in a few weeks. It really depends on how dedicated you are to heal your body. You will see that cancer is your opportunity to transform your life, to set boundaries for yourself, to redefine what you want your life to look like. It is not a punishment. It's an opportunity, probably the biggest one of your life. And once you start seeing it that way, once you start gaining knowledge and applying simple, powerful principles, your whole journey changes. You feel empowered, you regain control in your healing. You understand that cancer is reversible. That is what I want for you. And if we work together, I will be there reminding you anytime doubt starts to creep in. Okay, I'm going to wrap up here, but I hope this gives you another perspective on cancer.